Namaste. Good morning. When discussing meditation, and it's like, so no matter what you're doing, this is going on. Why? Well, because there's this guy in hyperspace named Maharaji, and he's just Ram, 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 Ram. And all of the angels for all of eternity, they're holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. The whole world is filled with His glory. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. The whole earth is filled with His glory. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. And so, and it's just tick, 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 and another second passes, 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 and another moment passes, and another moment passes, and another moment passes, and another moment passes. Gate para samgate mori swaha. Gate para gate samgate mori swaha. Gate para samgate mori swaha. Gate para samgate mori swaha. And on 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 and on. And so that's the space awareness, because it's not a nothingness, but it's like empty packages. I heard this priest monk, I can't think of his name, I just discovered him like yesterday, but he went all Ram Dass on me, man. He came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. I don't usually see it from us Christians. But he was like, a day comes, something like a package comes, and it's a day, and what does this day have in store for me? I don't know, I'm going to be preaching to the squirrels. And so he talks about how it's like he's unwrapping this package, and he does it carefully. He's paying attention, he's doing it the right way, and he's unwrapping it, but ultimately the package is empty. And so then you go on to the next package, and you unwrap it, and it's empty. And so then you go on to the next package. Yeah, step 1, step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Emptiness. Form, 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 emptiness. Emptiness, 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 form. And I really like thinking about it like if you have a singular mala bead, and it is its own being, it is its own existence, it's its own thing. And so one's gate, one's Om Mani Padme Hum, one's Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One is Om Namah Shivaya, one is Holy, Holy, Holy. And so We can go on, go on, go on, go on. And all of these, in and of themselves, are they are the one. But here you have a whole rosary of them, or you have a whole mala set of them. You have 108. And so after you've gone through the whole thing, the guru bead, the Mahamala appears, and it is the sum total of all of these. And that one, it represents the whole mala. But then you go out and you get another mala, and this one has all of the Ram, 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 Ram. and so it produces a whole nother Mahamala and another Mahamala. And now you have 3 malas for this 108 of those. And then, the Mahamala. And then that's just, and it's this fractal nature of reality. It's this awareness, and it's super. I hope to be able to talk. This is just becoming one of the things to talk about because it's one of the only things that I can see that exists. But it's like, let's define. So there's nothing, absolutely nothing. And so let's say that there is something, and we're being minimalistic as possible. What could and so it's a point, but a point is not a thing yet. It's like it doesn't exist in a finite state, right? It's just kind of an alluding to existence. It's saying that at this exact finite point, but there's no distance between the center and the circumference. As soon as there is condensation into a physical form, there is distance. And all of these dualities spawn into existence at the same time. There's inside, outside. There's nothing. There's something. Inside, outside. All the 10 directions: up, down, left, right, in, out. I don't know them all. There's just the infinite expanse of time. And it's this space. And it's every time you come back to the space, because let's say you just lost your house. Oh, so terrible. I can't speak on that situation because I've never, that's got to be terrible. There you are, and it's the blue sky. And it's a matter of the receptivity of that level of reality, the ever-changingness of everything. Because if you recognize that all things die, you won't cling to things. You will see them coming, and if it's really good right now, you'll enjoy it for its passing. And as it goes, you're not going to hold on and try to keep it because you know that what you are remembering it to be is no longer what it is. And so why would you chase it? It's just wait, just come be in the self. And the self is the only place where you can guarantee no suffering, because you can also guarantee no happiness in that way. Like, if you want to solidify it in your mind, well, you can at least know that since form is no other than emptiness. And so meditation is the practice of developing conscious awareness of this ebb and flow of reality, rather than idealizing a concrete image of what reality is in its unchanging form, which is like an archetypal or platonic solid or something that transcends reality, which in and of itself is very valuable. It's like a pattern. You can use it to understand the world around you. The heartbeat. I love that sound, by the way. Just the clicking. But yeah, so as soon as nothing exists, something exists, it's a point. As soon as that point condenses into an actual, what we could call a dot, there's a center and there's circumference. And that's one duality. There's nothing. There's non-being and there's being. There's start, end. There's this time, last time, next. Last time, this time, next time. Start, beginning, beginning, middle, and it's all of these things which are essentially the same thing, but it's different perspectives over and over again, and it seems so. Yeah, it's just the same thing, but it's like attend to the minute particulars. It's like understanding that there's difference adds dimensionality and depth to the situation, and it basically gives rise to a level of understanding which is beyond our normal conception. And so you have that something, and so it's no longer a point, now it's something, it's a dot, and we're just going to call it a circle, like the shape, we're just going to call it a circle just because it's the path of least resistance. It has no structure to it, it's just kind of what happens. You get a circle. Once you rub something long enough, it becomes spherical. You turn something long enough, it becomes a circle. You get it, right? I don't. I don't understand anything well enough to claim understanding over it, but there's understanding that takes place within the consciousness, and so talking about it is quite a dance. And so, yeah, meditation is just becoming aware of this, quote, illusory nature of reality. And what that is the interdependent quality of existence, because being needs non-being, because where did being come from? When you light a flame, where did it come from? Did it come from the north? Did it come from the south, east, west? No. Did you come from Berlin, little flame? Where did you come from? And if you listen closely with mindfulness, the flame can respond to you. I came from nowhere. When conditions are sufficient, I manifest like this. When conditions are no longer sufficient, I cease to exist. I don't go to Berlin. I don't go to the north. I don't go to the south. I don't go to the east. I don't go to the west. I don't exist. I am in the realm of non-being. And right now I am, and so I am in the realm of being. And so meditation is sinking into non-being and realizing that non-being is an idea in the mind of being. And I am that which observes even that and this and this. And it's this over process that takes in the whole thing. And it brings it back to the source, because if it's going on, it's going on, it's going on, it's going on, it's going. It's either going home or it's going away from home, and that's why following the breath is. Because it's sitting with the nature of reality. And what I was discussing is that when you have a point, and there's center and there's circumference, and the circumference takes the shape of a circle. And so now that circle represents, inside of that circle represents space. But in the center, there's the source itself. Because they're interdependent. And that's what meditation helps you realize when you go in and out. You can't just always breathe in. There's a limit to the breathing inness. At some point you have to breathe out. It's only so far I can breathe out. You can do breathing exercises, but what you realize is there's only so far you can breathe in. There's only, and so you're really trying to explore and go as far out and push the boundary as far as you possibly can. But you can't go any further. Why? There's something pulling you. Yourself, like you're home, like the source. It's the source itself. You can't depart too far. If you're going to grow outward, you need to be rooted deeply enough. or else, and the way it manifests is you'll be going on some journey, and then it'll start usually as something like fear or paranoia, or like something like your alertness, and like you're just kind of aware of something's going on, and then something's going wrong. What's going on? Something, there's like murmuring, and so, and it always takes these sort of things, and then at some point it comes and gets you, and then it's undeniable, and then there's like this sense of denying it, and then there's this undeniable, I need to go home. And it's always like that, because because what it is it's realizing emptiness, because you've chased form for so long, or you've chased emptiness for so long that you've been running away from all your problems, and so now you need to face them. You need to go home so that you can be at rest, and that's the whole game. It's about rest, and it's also about complexity of dream and beauty and all of that, and the beauties of life, the wonders of life, all the reasons for manifestation. It's about maximizing complexity and understanding and harmony and all these beautiful things. But so once you go far enough out into the manifestation, if you can only go as far out as deeply rooted as you are in, and so then you go back home, but you can only stay at home for so long before it starts to get boring, before it starts to be like, this again. Wake up, make my breakfast, go to work, go to do my thing, go home, go to sleep, wake up, make my breakfast, go to work, go to sleep. Another second passes, and another second passes, and another second passes, and another second passes, and another day passes, and another day passes, and another day, and another one, and another one, and another life, and another life, and another life, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, ideas, and is like the functioning of the mind. And it's like, it's that continuously, and if you think that you are the one that has to keep up with that, that's where your problems are. Because you place yourself as someone who has to pay attention to what's going on, and what's going on is and it's the same space every time. The space can have different qualities, but the quality of space is not space. It belongs to the quality rather than the space. It belongs to the manifestation rather than and so meditation is about realizing the nature of being and non-being, and the interconnectedness of these two, because we have two separate names for them, and realistically they're not even separate. Being, non-being. But like, there's dualities left and right, and we assume, and it creates this image in our minds that these two things are different. And a really easy one is, there's the vast ocean, and on the ocean there's a wave passing by, and amidst the waves there's a chunk of ice, and if you go further away, then you can get to this part where there's like foggy clouds, and it's all just water. But it's these different forms of water. And so if you're going to attend to the minute particulars, you can go about, you can label this wave, and you can label that wave, and you can label the different series of functions of waves, and the different types of interactions that occur when different waves, and then there's the small little surface level waves, there's the deeper waves, there's the vortex waves, there's all the different, and it's beautiful until you think that you are the one that has to keep up with it all, and until you think that, I need to write this down, I need to get and you'll be so busy chasing it that it passes you by, and then you get stressed, and it's this it's this loop, and that's the functioning of the mind. And it's all, when at that point you're far enough into manifestation that you need to come back home. You need to go to the root, that you need to really be centered in the what is, and what is really happening, because you've lost focus. You think it's about the little individual, but no, it's about the overall flow of the, and it's about the fact that the constant repetition of pitter patter is reminding you over and over again of what exists and what does exist. In and out. Coming, going, being, non-being. It's like if you go from the bathroom to the room, and the room to the kitchen, and the kitchen to the living room, and the living room to the hallway to the cat room to the back room. You haven't even left the house. And so it's coming and going, yes, but it's within this extremely localized area. And then you go outside the house, cool. You go from home to work, to the store, to this place, to that place. It's all on Earth. And so you exit Earth, it's still in space, and we could get more particular than that, but it's all taking place in space. The air that you breathe is space. And it has some quality to it, an oxygen quality to it, and for this we are very thankful. Thank you, plants. And I don't know, it's just all so beautiful. Because from the place of space, you can come back at any direction. Watch. There's a dolphin, and he wants you to follow him into the room where he hid the key to the secret of being. And as you walk in, the dolphin is waiting for you. But the shark comes in, and he is your savior, because the dolphin was tricking you into the room. 'Cause the key was only the thing that took away your destiny, and you were going to sell your soul. Oh no, but the shark came and saved you from the deep. Oh, 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 and you see, and it comes and subsides into the same space, and between every word is the breath, and it's the same space, and my cat wants my attention. It's just about recognizing all of this stuff that we miss, but without getting so caught in thinking about it, and just being with it, being as it, and realizing that the experience takes place within the mind. This is all happening in reality, right? If like cause and effect. Actually happened. I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Gatorade didn't get thrown onto the floor, nor that I almost fell off my box cushion. It's the coolest little thing. It's literally just a cushion, and it's a box, and I stack boxes all day, so boxes are among my favorite things. And I can just use it for meditation. I can meditate on a box. Makes me very happy. But it's always the same meditation, whether you're meditating on a leaf, whether you're meditating on water, whether you're meditating on a pillow, whether you're meditating on the breath, whether you're meditating on love, whether you're meditating on, whether you don't think you're meditating, whether you think you're contemplating something very deep like death, or like a business decision, or like all of these things. It's all just a scenario that is happening in the mind, and that is what meditation helps you realize, is that we take for reality what is imaginary, and what is imaginary as reality. Like if you watch a movie, everything in that movie is real except the story, which is what you believe. And it's the same thing about real life. Everything is real. I'm not denying the existence or the reality of any given phenomena. I am denying the way in which it is beheld is seen in the mind, but not denying, but like the way in which it is beheld is seen in the mind, but it's taken as it's being seen in reality, because it is being seen in reality. With my eyes, I'm looking out into reality and seeing it with my eyes, yes. But how am I seeing reality? Photons bouncing and refracting off of things, reflecting themselves in the watery surface of my eyes, which is then being processed by my brain by complex math, because it's a supercomputer that's been developing for 13 billion years. And that is the reality of the situation. And it's proven. It's not, you don't have to do anything. Go to sleep. You will find yourself in a dream where you can perform experiments such as in dream space, it is very easy to perform experiments to prove that the reality that you are in is separate. And a lot of times, especially if there's a narrative, I have been unable to do this fully, but basically to prove that there is some sort of consistency outside of the dream. And I don't know how true, because I can't lucid dream that well, but I have had, like, one of my big mistakes is that as soon as I become lucid, I'm like, yo, I'm dreaming. And the person just kind of looks at me, and they don't really understand what I'm saying, and that sucks me back into the dream. I'm gone. And I'm like, dang it! But it's like, there are many ways to prove, at least conceptually, that this exists beyond me. It's not me making this up, even though I know that I'm in a dream. And so therefore I am making it up by definition. This wall is made of my mind. It's not made of a substance. But it appears to me as, and dream is like, reality is like that. Except I'm not claiming that reality is a dream. I'm claiming that the experience of reality is dreamlike. And the fact that I wouldn't say deny that, but don't recognize that is why I feel the need to say it. And it's also like, if you're meditating, right? And so, let's say you're deep in meditation. Things are going around, you're not even, you're just in space. And then it's beyond the idea of meditation to where I just am the emptiness, and it takes place within me, and something, so it's complete equilibrium with the meditation. And then something happens, and the attention is brought there, but it's not mine. There's no identification. There's just the awareness that something is happening. A point exists. We'll probably get back to that. But, so something exists, and then if you are not identified with the one who witnesses it, usually someone else does. So someone, and this is what's always happening, and we don't really recognize this, but when things happen in space, they're available to everyone else who's in space. Like, everyone who's in the same space that is able to perceive the phenomena, it has been perceived. It may not have been, like, noted, it might not have been, like, people are watching you, but there is at least the understanding that something happened, or the awareness that something happened. And as this is all taking place, so I could be in the meditation, so someone starts talking about something. I think no one hears them. I don't hear them because I'm in space. But then someone else, there's 5 of us, we're meditating in a row. And so someone else is listening, but they're not really paying attention. And there's someone else, he is listening, he is paying attention. And there's the other one who's like kind of responding within themselves. And so then the 5th one, he like actually engages in the conversation. So we're all in the meditation watching this happen. And so as the one leaves, the next one becomes slightly more aware of the situation, and he's more liable to get involved. And so the previous one, he's becoming more aware of the situation, so he's going to get involved. But I'm eternally the self. I am not involved with anything in this. And so as this all unfolds, there's now a full-blown situation. There's 3 people involved. There's 2 people sitting, meditating, keeping the space. 1 keeping the space and 1 being the space. And so here we all are, and something's happening. And so remember, it was equilibrium, and then some disruption. It's not even disruption, it's noise. It's something occurs, and so then music builds off of it. There's some chord progression. You could see it like that. There's something, and now the background is being drawn. Now it's this package that's unfolding. It's something is happening. And it's not just something happening, it's something that's happening. It has been happening, it's going to continue happening. It's happening right now. It's occurring. And so, but it's occurring in space. And so, but it's occurring. And so as I'm watching it occur, let's say there's someone needs a glass of water. And so they're saying, I'm thirsty, but no one else is getting them a glass of water. And for some reason they can't move their legs. And so someone else points out, hey, they can't move their legs. Someone else needs to get them some water. And so, oh yeah, okay, so go and get some water and give them some water. And it's something like that, where it's a scenario, and then there's dissonance, and then it resolves itself without me needing to get involved, because if I don't get involved, somebody else will. And in a scenario where nobody else would, but I'm here and I can have the moment, like I am given the opportunity to catch the mistake before it takes place. I can step in, do my thing, step out. Oh. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be that. It falls right in your lap. And so it's just the most natural thing. It's just like breathing at that point. It's just what needs to be done is done, and I am the body that happens to be sitting here. Like, let's say I'm sitting at break at work and the light goes out, like we're all eating, talking, doing our thing, and then there's this like heat lamp that we use, especially in the winter, and so it goes off after 15 minutes. And so after 15 minutes, we're just sitting here, turns off. I'm sitting right next to the thing. Boop. Continue. And that's it. And that is like right action. And it comes from right view, which is meditation, which is that view which is beyond coming and going, which sees beyond duality by the interconnectedness of reality. And now back to the fractal. So there's the point, and then there's a circle, and where did that circle was once a point inside of the center, and then it expanded out into a circle. And since it expanded out into a circle, there was space for the point. And because the point never left, because the point is the heart itself, just like the circle is the boundary itself. Like they are interconnected in that way. And so seeing that, there's the heart itself, and so that, and then it can become like a double circle. And because the point in the center can develop space in the center, becoming 2 circles. And since there's space, then there's space for something to happen, for something to appear. And so it's a point, and then that point becomes a dot, and that dot becomes a circle, and that circle has space in it, which there's a point, and that point becomes a dot, and that dot becomes a circle, and it becomes this infinite fractal of reality. And it's the most basic fractal because it's a circle. It's literally just, I forget the qualifications for it being a fractal. I know it's something to the extent of self-similar. It's like self-similar across scale. That's the definition of a fractal, to my knowledge. And so circle by definition, like, yeah, it's the curve. The curve is consistent no matter if you look at it zoomed in 2,000 times or zoomed out 2,000 times. It's still the same curve. And so by that, circles are fractals. And out of that, I just like to, the most simple fractal to draw is triangle, upside down triangle in the center, upside down triangle until the center of those triangles, and then right side up, and then upside down, and then it's woo, and then you can kind of see it. My eyes, my two eyes and my nose make a triangle, and they take place within this triangle. You can see it? I hope you can see it. If you know the name of it, well, I don't know the name of it, but if you know the fractal I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's just triangle, 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 over and over again. And so it's so when you understand the nature of space, it has no boundary, and in that way it's not exhaustible. It doesn't exist. It wasn't born, so it can never die. And so there's nothing that can stress out space. It's just infinitely giving. And fractals really do explore that, because you can have something which can go infinitely inward and infinitely outward. And that itself is what reality is doing. Because it is, the duality spawns into existence at the same time. Left and right exist together, because without left there's no right, because there's just sheet of paper. If you split the sheet of paper into left and right, there is left and right. But if there's no left, then there's no right. There's only sheet of paper. And because you can't have left without right. It doesn't exist, because left only exists in relation to right. And they both exist from the center point and then the furthest extents. And it's like the framework of reality. It's like a blank sheet of paper, but it's not like a blank sheet of paper. It's like a blank template or something. It has like, here's where you put this, and here's where you write that. And it has these lines, and it has these boxes, and it has these, and then the little bubbles, and then all these different like little interesting things, but there's nothing in and of themselves. It gives you no actual information. All the information needs to be written out, like ad-libs or something. But the content itself is a form of emptiness. It's a type of emptiness, because if you have a journal, you could have 3 journals. One's a daily journal, one is a thoughts journal, and one is a dream journal. And all 3 of them would have different types of structured templates, but without filling in the information of what happened in the day, the different thoughts and the different dreams. It's just an empty journal. There's no information there, even though, but then there is the subtle amount of information of this is a dream journal. It's not just any journal, this is a dream journal. And so it has this structure, and these pages differ from these pages, and so in that way, the world unfolds in both directions all the time, because it's all interconnected. It doesn't have to spawn into it already exists. It's like this. It's real. It's substantial. And all of that is a bunch of words. And meditation is beyond words. And we're back. And when you meditate, there's this deeper sense of awareness of going on, because there's me that goes on in my life, and the happenings of my life, and the things that I focus on, that I'm aware of, and da-da-da-da-da. But then there's the universal happening, which is, to see it is like an internal looking, is like an internal experience. It's like instead of placing your mind right here looking outward at the world, you see that this is the self and I exist within it. And so go inside what is here Because let's say you're imagining you're someone else that just walked into the room and you see me sitting here. Well, what would this person's experience be like? Well, if I'm the guy standing over there, I have no idea. I can only tell you what my experience is like. But if I am the guy sitting here, because I am, well, I now have access to information that this guy doesn't have. And so if he wants to know it and he asks me and I want to tell him, well, I'm the only one who can tell him. No one else can tell him about me. They can only tell them about themselves. And so I am the only one that is this self. So because this self is particular to me, I should probably understand the self. And so I look at the self closely. And so it's like I'm looking at myself, but it's not, who's this I that is looking? It's a projection of the observer, but it's the observer itself which is being observed in the situation. And it always collapses, and you can never define it in language because it doesn't exist like that. But I can say that it is felt as the space within here, because like Ram Dass would talk about the heart cave or something, and that would confuse. I got the point, but it didn't like. So there's a place in my body where I can go and like, I don't know. Listen, Ram Dass did a lot of acid. He probably spent some time inside of a literal cave inside of his heart, but I have not experienced such a thing. I have experienced one time Muji was talking, and he was going through the inquiry, but it wasn't the Ramana Maharshi inquiry. It was like his own like little invitation inquiry mix. Contemplate these things. If you know what I'm speaking, then you know what I'm speaking. And he's talking, he's guiding you through, and he's like, this space, and where my consciousness was at this point in time was like this. It's like when you breathe in, you can feel the air in your throat, and then that deeper, where's the air going? Because if you're imagining yourself breathing into your belly, and you really sit with that feeling, and you just really feel where the air is. There's like this empty passageway. And if you focus your attention on that, and make that the object of your meditation rather than me inside of the world, because this is our normal level of mind operation. If we think I am this thought, and seeing that a thought is no. And basically thoughts are weak, so you have to make them firm like a fortress. And this thought is the I thought, is the self. It is the thought by which other thoughts are perceived, seen. I see God through the same eye that He sees me. The eye is the lamp of the body. It's that I. And placing your attention on that I, and where it will bring you is the space within your heart, which is within your chest and your heart area, this whole breathing and the space. And at the very end of The Good Place, which is a beautiful show, the guy who is originally a Buddhist monk who turned out to be just a video gamer who didn't talk because someone told him he was a Buddhist monk, and it was beautiful. And then it comes full circle at the very end because he says some Buddhist monk shit. He's like, the air outside of my lungs and the air in my lungs is no different. It's the same. It's the same air. And at that moment, he's ready to die. And so disappear into the void, rather. I don't know, restart the universe. I don't know. I don't know what happens. And it can be experienced as what is called ego dissolution. It's when the space is all that exists, and I can only go on for so long. There's only a certain amount of engine in the fuel in the engine. There's only so far I can go, and where I just have to just surrender to the silence and be. And I cease to exist in that moment. Because who I am is what I am identifying with. Who I am is what I am identifying with. which is Jacob, which is the functionings of this particular mind system, which is more of a habit than a reality. And when you've seen that and you've seen beyond that into, I'm just pure consciousness, I have nothing to do with, this is just my circumstance. When you realize this truly, it's nirvana. It's release. It is, but then you find yourself back in it again. Every time. And what is it? It's a situation outside of it that takes place within space, but it's not being one with the space. It is this sense of separation. Where does it come from? It comes because you're at home, but there's a concert going on, and you don't want to stay at home. You want to go to the concert, and so you get your money, you go to the concert, and now a situation is happening in the concert, and you're away from home. So let's say there's something that you need at home, like your laptop for some reason. You're at the concert, having a great time, but shit, I need my laptop, because at your home, you're never 2 feet away from your laptop because your entire business is on your laptop, let's say. And so you really need to be in the comfort of your home for this specific thought to occur. You want to do something, and in order to do something, you need to be at home where your laptop is less than 2 feet away. But right now, you're at a concert. And meditation allows you to send that thought basically forward in time, or like a message delivery system, just like, come back to me when I'm at home. And when you've left the comfort of this space, of this silence, because it got bored, and so you were chasing something, a desire, a pleasure, you went out of yourself to get something, to have some experience. And if you did that thinking that experience would bring you home, it splits, because in some ways, having a great time listening to Dan Reynolds talk about, oh my God, just talk about his experience of being a human. One moment he's like peace and love, and another he's like, only one of us gonna make it out alive, and it's not you, bitch. And it's like, whoo. But then at the same time, it's like, I love everybody human. And at the same time, it's like, this is the digital revolution. And at the same time, it's like, hey, put off your phone, experience real life. And I'm like, oh shit, this man knows what's up. And so it's like, okay. And so you go and you want to have that experience. But if you're looking for that to be truly fulfilling on a heart level, you're not going to get it, because you're not at home. Like if you're looking to have the thing where you're at anytime you want to, you can just write down your laptop thought, do your little business thing. You can't do that when you're at the concert. You have to come home first. And so one concert is fine. But let's say this is just taking place in the mind. So we have complete imaginative control. And so let's say it's the concert drags on for 30 years, and you've been trapped here for 30 years listening to Dan Reynolds. Oh no. That would honestly be pretty dope. Throw some Tame Impala in there, listen every so often, just Paul McCartney shows up, Story Rocky. And so all of this takes place, and it's beautiful at first, but then time, okay, Dan Reynolds, Tame Impala, Paul McCartney. Dan Reynolds, Tame Impala, Paul McCartney. And it's about the 50th loop, because remember, we're here for 30 years, and then 50 loops after that, and then it's just the same show over and over and over and over again. You're just longing for the comfort of your own home, but you can't, because you're in this concert environment, and it's taking so much energy, and it's just like, aren't you happy? Aren't you having a great time? Put on your smile, pump it, kick it, this is painful. You can't take this all the time. You have to, and so it's this noise, and that's what the mind's like. And so then you go back home, the comfort of your own home, and that's the heart, and it's this space. And one is form, and there's beauty of form, but it has to be deeply rooted in emptiness. And this is the value in coming home. But to be truly at home, because let's say you came home to do something on your laptop, then you left one mind scenario, you left that one for another one where you're tons of super stressed about it. The white light is blaring, you're hurting your eyes, you want to go to sleep, you can't, and so then so long as you're replacing one thing for another thing, it's just thing, 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 thing. But at some point you recognize that all of the beads are held together by a string. And the beads couldn't be here without the string, and the string wouldn't be here without the beads. It would serve no real purpose other than just to be a string. And so the reason that this is because, and the reason that I'm doing this is because this is. And they are interconnected in that way. And everything's like that. And it has no separate existence. But you don't realize that when you think that in and out are different, that left and right are different. And it's all just happening. So we're just going to leave you. Yeah, I can't do that. With a little surprise. We are going to end today's session with a reading from the Dhammapada. Just going to find a random page. Evil, age, self, the world. The awakened one. All right. 14. The awakened one. He is the conqueror who can never be conquered, into whose conquest no other can ever enter. By what track can you reach him, the Buddha, the awakened one, free of all conditioning? How can you describe him in human language, the Buddha, the awakened one, free from the net of desires and the pollution of passions, free from all conditioning? Even the gods envy those who are awakened. Established in meditation, they live in freedom, at peace. It is hard to obtain human birth, harder to live like a human being, harder still to understand the Dharma, but hardest of all to attain nirvana. Cessation of thoughts. Avoid all evil. Cultivate the good, purifying your mind. This to sum up the teaching of the Buddha. This sums up the teaching of the Buddhas. Cultivate the practice of endurance and attain nirvana, the highest goal of life. Do not oppress others or cause them pain. This is the way of the spiritual aspirant. And we will end right there because I am not confident in my own ability to vocally read out loud because I didn't really develop that skill when I was a child in school. So, but yeah. May your soul be at peace. May I have enlightened and entertained you equally, I guess. I hope that your existence is going as well as it possibly can. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I love you.